They got that.
We are live. All right. Welcome to the Gunner City Council regular meeting. It is Thursday, April 2nd. It is 6:00 p.m. We're at the Public Safety Building at 104th Street. All notices were properly posted according to the Texas Open Meetings Act. We do have a quorum of everyone in attendance, and we will open up with our invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance.
It's a privilege we have to come before you and humble ourselves before you, Father, thanking you for this day and the blessings of it. We're thankful, Father, for the opportunities we have as citizens of this community to live here and to be blessed by many things that we enjoy. Father, I pray a special prayer upon the council and their wisdom, that you be with them, be with their families, bless them, Father, in a special way. Father, I pray for our community, for this city to have a spirit of unity, that we put aside our differences and look to the betterment of what is best for Gunner and for what is best for this community. We pray as we disagree that we do it in a way that, again, shows no personal hatred, but rather a spirit of willingness to make things better. We pray for Father, I pray for our leaders in our country. Pray for our military who's serving in harm's way. I pray that your will be done in that, and that peace forward soon, and they come home to their families. Father, I pray for our first responders in this. We rely upon, and we pray that you bless them, bless their families. Again, Father, we ask that you humbly accept our thanks for all things that we receive from you. We pray that you continue to bless us, help us have a bright future, help us be prosperous in this community. And again, we are so thankful for your grace and mercy that we ask for each day. In Jesus' humble name I pray. Amen. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one.
All right, so we'll open up with citizen comments. Put these sections together, so we've got citizen comments, 4 agenda comments. We're going to do those all in the beginning. Deidre, oh, she's looking for the.
We do have some citizens.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so I have Mr. Michael Gallagher first. You'll come up. See you. State your name and address for the record. Yeah.
Michael Gallagher, 1621 Carston Ridge Court, Gunner. Somehow, some way, we all have to freaking get along. You're not going to agree with me, I'm not going to agree with you, but Jesus Christ, it's a small city. We need to put whatever aside, yell at one another, and shake hands after the yelling's over with. I completely drew a blank when you called me, so I'm going to make an ass of myself, but I don't mean to waste your time, people. Holy smokes.
Mind do the other 2 and then come back to you? Give you a second? Happy
Cool,
to do that.
cool.
Okay.
Completely
happens.
slipped my
It
mind.
happens. It's okay.
What's that?
So next I have,
Oh, thank you.
I'm not sure if this is Chris or Chris.
No, Chris.
Chris, okay. Okay. Hi, so welcome. State your name and address for the record.
My timer on. Okay. My name is Aris.
Farm, and I live at 305 Waterview Drive in the Meadows. And I want to ask you guys to consider reducing the speed limit in the neighborhood from 30 to 20. So, some fun facts. Accidents involving a vehicle and a pedestrian at 30 miles per hour has a 45% mortality rate. If reduced to 20, the mortality rate drops to 5%. A driver who's fully and completely aware, paying attention, doing their very best job at 30 miles per hour has almost no chance of stopping time when a child darts from the side. Our neighborhood has a lot of kids under 12. The darting out is a behavior that children 9 and under typically do, even if their parents have taught them not to. We have 2 signs in the beginning of the neighborhood that are 30 miles per hour, and one of them, Dad's has offered, if you guys agree, so it wouldn't cost you anything in man time coming out there. I'd be glad to pick them up. We have 49 homes in the neighborhood. Not all of them are occupied. There's one lot that's not built on, but I would say roughly 42 homes have people in them. It's a single loop in the neighborhood, so there's no connecting to other main roads or anything like that. And our streets are 20 feet wide. It's a tiny bit narrow, so when 2 cars are parked, you can hardly shoot the guy. So I'm just asking you if you'd like me to do a petition. I've already started it, but I haven't done it fully. I've got 14 signatures without even trying. So my hope is to have a majority, if not everybody. But I would love it if you would consider that.
Thank you, Liz. So we can't, because it's not an agenda item, but
Right.
I figure Eric probably has something real quick to
Yeah.
because we can work on that for you and
Well, I do
with
too.
you
So,
one-on-one.
yeah, Adam and I and Chief Jones have spoken about it a little bit. They are 22-foot wide pavement with no curb and gutter. They're also private streets.
That's
And like
correct.
she said, it's an inner double loop, so there's no connectivity through it. But of course, if it reduced down to 20 miles per hour, our standard default, if it's not posted, is it's 30 miles an hour unless you pass an ordinance that would then change it. Even though it's a private street, I believe we can still pass an ordinance because we can still enforce our traffic regulations and laws, even though it's a private street.
Council
if
could
you
lower
want-
it down to, council could lower their cities have done, I give this my update, but the council has the ability to lower a speed limit in a residential area down to 20 miles an hour. That is a council, there's not a mechanism. I talked, actually, she's one of 3 homeowners I've talked to different areas of the city this week, and it just all popped up, because other cities have done it. So, just to let you know, but that sits with council, that is a council decision.
Yeah, so will the 2 of you get that information to us so that we can talk to Courtney about that? I think the public versus private, it's probably gonna be in your favor that it's private streets, I would think. But let's work on that and then.
And if they
bring that
want
back
to submit a
council.
petition, that's fine too, but again, it's a council overall decision. But I think if all 42 or so people, or residents agree, it's not like road humps, I don't think it's gonna be controversial.
So maybe Deidre can put that on the agenda for next time. That'll give us time to work through the details and then Eric and Adam can bring that back to us. I think it's, we can at least address.
Yeah, I know you can't tell me to. I'm not trying to frustrate you. I just want you to
Thank
think
you for
about it.
speaking up.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and so then now I have Mr. Sean Terry is up next.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Sean Terry, 1800 Valley View Lane, Farmers Branch, Texas. I just kind of want to get up here and address temporary batch plant has been something this week that's kind of blown up. And I just wanted to come up here and give the facts about it. I know, Mayor, you called me, Councilman Stevens, you both called me with concerns about it. Eric, I know you called our project manager. I was out of town last week. We had the TCEQ approval. Our contractor just moved in without really notifying the city, thinking the ordinance had been changed. It's been all our fault. Had the temporary removed yet, but they're in the process of getting it removed. I would like to consider in the future, y'all look at the reason why a temporary batch plant is important. For this current development, it's about 96 homes. That temporary batch plant would allow us to bin in and out within 2 weeks, at the most 3 weeks. Saved us about $250,000. We understand that's not your process today. If it's in a development agreement, maybe there's some ways to look at that in the future. But now it's gonna take us from 2 or 3 weeks to about 6 weeks with more truck traffic going through there. That, as soon as it was brought to the city's attention, both the mayor and Councilman Stevens reached out to us. I think we had good conversations about it. We immediately stopped everything, got onto our contractors for not following through the city while they're setting it up before they start operating it. So I want to apologize on our behalf for that. We always want to be good citizens and partners. We've been in this city for 20 years and just want to make sure, see a lot of stuff on social media, and the facts were, it was all on us. It was our responsibility to make sure it got done through the city. They typically put them up. Hopefully they get approval that week, but it's coming down and we're going to be doing way of just trucking it in. So thank you all very much.
I actually have a question because I didn't realize you were gonna speak here, so I was
Yeah.
gonna address this in our mayor's update.
Okay.
Mayor Alderman update, because this went wild. I think we're tricking them, we're doing something sneaky, we were not. So I just wanna kinda go back over, you and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago,
Correct.
and Centurion American is a huge developer, y'all. They're the largest this side of the Mississippi, so it's not just Texas.
Right.
And Gunner's the only city who does not allow them to do this. So it's not unusual for the project manager, Heather, being new to doing Gunner, to assume that it was that way. So they did the TCQ, the next thing they do, they go set up. You and I talked about, you could do that in the county land.
Correct.
You and I were clear that it would not happen on city.
Correct.
So when I got the notification, was tagged on Facebook on Sunday at dinner with my family, because I'd like to do that every once in a while, I glanced at it, looked at the photo. I'm not looking at the CAD. I don't know what that is. There's something circled, but you and I had talked and you said, well, you were gonna put it on the land that was the county
Correct.
land. Okay. So I glanced at it, I said, yep, that's concrete batch plant and they can put it on the county land. Nothing we can do about it. I didn't realize you set it up,
Yeah, me
The
neither. Until you called me and we.
The project manager had actually set it up in the city land, came back and said, I can assure you there will be no operational concrete batch plant in the bridges. Let us figure this out Monday morning. Monday morning, before 9 o'clock, Eric and Cameron were both on site, letting the contractor know, having these discussions. We were all communicating. I talked to you Sunday night, well, you were out of the
Yeah,
country,
Monday,
coming
yeah.
back in, about to fly back in. Monday morning, we took care of this. It shouldn't have been the big blow up that it was, but we handled this. So nobody's trying to trick anybody. This was an accident. It probably happened again. A lot of accidents happen. People put up pop-up shots all over the place, and we address them and take them down. So something happens, we address it, and you guys totally responded very quickly and took care of it as well.
Pay our fine too. We got fined and we're gonna. Yeah, we're
That
not
makes
asking
anybody feel
anything.
better, they
Yeah.
got fined.
Yes.
So nobody's trying to be sneaky or anything. We're trying to take care of what is best for the city. It was an accident. It's over. Nobody's trying to poison anybody. It is what it is. But thank you
Yeah.
for clarifying that because
Well, I want to thank you both for
It's important.
reaching out to us because that's something I wouldn't have known. I don't come up here checking on that. And the
sure.
contractors who do this was RPMX, who does this all over. They just thought typical, normal deal. And so I wanted to just come here and apologize for it.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with our mistake and we've owned up to it.
Thank
I just want to know that in the future, if there's a way we can look at those, because it is safer in our opinion when you have a lot less trucks. A temporary batch plant when you can do it, get it out in 2 or 3 weeks versus 6 weeks. So
you.
thank y'all.
Okay, so we're back to Mike. Would you like to come back up?
Give it a try.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to have wasted your time. I drew a complete blank.
It's okay.
And now I drew a complete blank again. Wow. Okay, proposition A. I think I got my train of thought. When I first moved here to Gunner, it was somewhat of a horror show the way it was run. So I was a pro-mayor type run city. Never met Karen before. The other one who was here, who actually sits on the water board, which is peculiar, but that's neither here nor there. I would like to see the city continue to run like it's run. We don't need some high-dollar city manager who don't give a damn about Gunner. And the people just making a big pocket for himself and walking out the door. I'd rather see people that live here sit up there that have a vested interest in it, in the city, that is. I find it hard to believe that people want to go back to the way it was with the old regime. I'm not as the old regime, please don't take it like that. But I cannot support, was that Prop A? I am so the other side of Prop A, it's not even funny. If I gotta go to the street and bang on doors, and I'm sorry, I will do that. This is a small town. This is what we need. We don't need some high-dollar clown getting a bunch of money who don't care about the citizens. Please, run the city like you're doing now. We're small, we're gonna grow. William, one thing, Wade, we may not see right, but it's a small town. Let's keep it running smooth without having some manager, high-paid manager, who don't give a damn about Gunner, who don't have to live in Gunner, have him run the show. Or be a little dog and follow the group. That wasn't everything I had to say. I completely forgot what I had to say. I don't know what happened. I Artemis 2, and I will be darting out because at 6:40 something good's gonna happen.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry I kind of wasted your time. I hope I got kind of my point across, but
Thank you.
that's all I gotta say.
Thank you much. Write it down next time.
I
I have to write it down.
had it written down.
Yeah, I'll go on
It's
script.
back on the kitchen.
Thank you. Is there anybody else before I close citizen comments that would like to speak?
Can we speak without signing it?
Yep.
I just
I'll
like-
the podium. Name and address for the record, and then.
Brady Bonk, 1300 Sparrow, Hawk Lane, Gunner. I just kind of want to emphasize what he said. I don't think a lot of people understand the Prop A, what we're asking for. It's my understanding, I can be corrected, but my understanding is a threshold under 5,000 people community, the manager would have full say over anything, any decisions, correct?
Correct.
They'd have full decision. That means anything you guys disagree with, they can supersede and override, right? We're not at that point, guys. This is not a big city. This is a small city that's being run by you guys. And I think it's where it needs to be correctly. Moved here, and let me tell you something. I love this town, but I can tell you right now, there's a lot of things in here that make me go, ugh. Just because of all of the misinformation that's shot over on Facebook, which is going to happen, but also, too, the misunderstanding about what this proposition is. Okay, I'm all for it at the 5,000 threshold. At that point, you do need someone to manage this place, right? But right now, we're not big enough. Right now, we need to keep it the way it is. This is how I think it should be. That's just my opinion. I think we've got a lot of people that are very angry about the situation. I don't even know anybody here. Thank God I don't, because it's a hot mess. I'll be the first to tell you it is a hot mess. I feel like I'm back in high school. Okay? I just want this town to be run right. And the way it's going to be run right is with people that are currently sitting here, making decisions on behalf of the citizens and listening to us. I love this town. I can't wait to see the growth in it, but I hope it grows the right way. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Brandy. So real quick, Courtney, do you want to address that just factually? So the city manager, if we changed government to a manager council from a government, in that chapter, it does make the manager the CEO. And now, that's not to say that they can make all these decisions, but at the end of the day, the council decides whether or not we hire or fire them. You could fire them, that person, but other than that, they pretty much make all the decisions underneath.
Well, they manage the day-to-day operations of the city, but as far as the city council is still responsible for their legislative function
Yeah.
and for determining the direction of the city and for what the city council always does. So what the city manager does is adds a layer of administrative functions so that the city council doesn't have to deal with
Departments.
writing checks, paying the light bill. That's what a city manager is supposed to do in a council manager form of government, is do the day-to-day operations. Decisions are still made by the council.
And the difference is Danny's doing the day-to-day right now as a city administrator. We'll talk about the other side of that factually, but then the mayor provides oversight. I'll tell you, that did not happen when we had a manager form of government. The mayor was pushed aside. So it's different, but yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. No, okay. Then I'll close citizen comments at 6:21. We will move on to our update from our Director of Parks and Streets, Adam.
I've got a few things. So, good evening, Mayor, Council. Just a couple things. It's going to be more like drainage, trash, streets. T-Nall Perkins has finished phase 1 of the drainage study. That's the study that the MDD paid for. We will begin phase 2 within the next week. Phase 2 is the one everybody's going to be interested in. That's the alternatives, how to correct certain drainage issues. So that is phase 2. The task force for the meadows, I know Wade was waiting for, a lot of people have been waiting for, so that is signed. And they've asked me to get right of entrance to the meadows. It's private streets, as it was said earlier. So I've reached out to HOA right now. I saw her reach out to me but I was dealing with some residents. So we'll get the right of entrance, and then that will kick in pretty quick. I'll have a timeline next week for it. But it's a fairly fast project. And that, like I said, is examining both the drainage aspects of that detention pond, the mechanism, and then you're looking to see, is it capturing water the way it needs to be, or is water being diverted elsewhere? Broken Bow, the staking on Broken Bow, and that's off of Broken Bow Lane, that starts Monday. It wasn't start on Friday. And so the staking starts Monday. The contractor will follow the staking, but there may be a day between that, so it will be next week. I placed door hangers on homes today. I talked to several of the residents about what was going on, and then when y'all are in executive session, I'll probably just send an email to the HOA and they can post that in the woods. I really don't see any very minimal traffic impact other than the people, they're going to be in people's backyards and stuff. So I don't see it as being a problem for that in that aspect. On trash, the last today I spoke with Madame A. Homes, a representative from Madame A. Homes and the Bridges, because that is the one area left that we gave them a little grace period, but we told them they have to move forward to figure out how to use roll-offs. So we're working through that process with them. So those little OSB little boards that they're putting up with the little capturing trashes at each house, that will go away. And I told them they're going to need to go to roll-offs. So we're going to work through that process with them. We talked about during the meeting today, we're gonna get it set up during the permit process. I don't want to be chasing, every time there's new homes, I don't want to chase them down. And the nice thing is this sets the precedent for our future developments for residences. So it's great. It should be great. On your desk is the hangers I had printed. So we had about 100 residents starting out that have never paid us yet for trash since switching from Republic. Then it went down to 78. I think we're at 48 or so right now. So,
Probably closer to 58.
58? Oh, I was hoping it was 48. So we are going to next week put those hangers on the doors of people who haven't, and we've tried to contact them and everything. They just haven't paid. So, and then 27th or whatever. Their service will be discontinued at that point.
And that would be the 27th.
Yeah, 27th, yeah. So we've been very considerate. We've been trying, but because don't forget, we
That's right.
we're being billed by the Alfords every month. So they will have to pay the back fees as well for this. But just want to let you know, in case that made it out there to the ether at some point, that we put those out there. We waited as long as we could. On streets, also received, it's been a banner week for receiving things from the engineers. The street impact fee study task order is done. Just to give you an idea, we'll have a timeline going. That will eventually require an ordinance and a public hearing. We'll also need to create a capital improvement advisory committee. Jenny helped out on putting an ordinance together. I'll be sending it to Courtney, and we can get together on that. And it also requires will a 10-year CIP program for your streets. Now, I do think the street assessment that I'm doing will help facilitate that 10-year assessment. So I don't think that'll be a big hurdle for us, but we're finally getting that in order. We've been trying to do that for a while. And just the last thing, I don't know if any other staff person was going to say it. We met again this week with the school. We're meeting with them monthly now, and we work through a lot of issues with the school. So that's been a good relationship. I find it very fruitful. Danny was there, the administrator, Eric, myself, Cameron. I think that was it. But just to let you know that ongoing conversation has been very helpful with the city and the school. We're working pretty good together. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ed. All right, Director of Planning and Development, Eric.
Hope mine can be as exciting as Adam's stuff. But I just wanted to kind of go over with you our certificate of occupancies or COs that we've issued from year to date and let you kind of know the businesses that they are. Some of you maybe know, some of you don't, but so far we've done 10 COs. Several, one's for Thrifted Treasures, one's for Gunner Family Pharmacy. Another one is for Northside Pie, which is just a new CO for the new operator. We're working through some codes with them right now, working with Atlas on some inspections with some upgrades that they needed to do, but were kind of costly. So I'm working with Lee with Atlas, work around that still meets the safety precautions that they're looking for, but doesn't cost quite as much because they've changed out some of their copper to PEX piping now. So from my experience, some of the RPZ or the backflows that are required on copper are not on PEX piping, which is plastic. Is opening 2 locations. The one's on 610 Main, or excuse me, 418 West Main and then 400 West Main. The buildings are right next to each other essentially, but they're going to office in the one that kind of looks like the gray job shack trailer type thing that has parking right on the street, and then the building that goes back towards the body shop salvage yard area. So they're going to have drop off going in there, but Cameron and I met with them on site and Jesse about a month or 2 ago to kind of go over some of it's a permitted use, but of course, since it's a potential donation stop, we didn't want boxes put out front or just donations dropped off 24/7 and stacks piling up out there. So they're fully aware that if that ever becomes an issue, that they'll address it. Right now, they're not going to do a retail storefront. It's just a pickup. They bring it from different places and then they redistribute it and sort it out in that facility. But eventually, they will probably open the front part. Has a little bit of an office in it that they'll do a small retail storefront. Another one is a dental office, Barkhaven Dental. That's opening on 605 North Preston. Legacy Bagels is just another CO. It's a change of ownership. Corfit Gym. And then we have a Golden Grain Law, PLLC, coming in over at 100 East Main. And then the final one is an interesting little thing that came in. It's Eros Cigar Company. So he's running a little office. It's a concierge type cigar place where he does most of his work online, but they come in and someone can meet. So if you have I'm going to be a Granddad Cigars Made Pretty Soon or something, come in. They have different cigar brand or different cigar manufacturers that he works with that you can order the cigars and then he'll make special customized bands for it. But it's not like unfortunately, it's not a cigar lounge like Adam and I were hoping it was. It's just basically they'll have cigars on site. I'm sure if they're smoking in their office, it's not like that. Which I know sounds funny, but it's one of those things when someone applies for a CO, you have to get a little bit more particular. When you see a name like that, it has to trigger in your mind, what is this land use really? And then talk to him about it a little bit and find out more. And then I went to his website and understood it's just basically an office, and it's mostly online type stuff. And on top of that, we've had 9 residential permits, mostly obviously in the Bridges 2A going up. And then, as Adam mentioned, we did meet with the school district last week, and I spoke with the engineers that have been working on, is it Friesen Nichols? Working on, I forget. The engineers working on the light warrant study there for J.C. Maples and 120 there. That study's been done. They've completed the warrant study for TxDOT, so they're trying to schedule a meeting to meet with the school district. I think Sean and Centurion American have that report, they say right now, for them to kind of review and look at it, and then they'll share it with us, and we'll schedule a meeting, try to meet with them and TxDOT to see. I don't know if it proved up that there's a warrant for it or not, but that's the next. We hope it does. Of course, there could still be turn lanes that are required there, but we're shooting to try to get whatever. If it is warranted, how much it's going to cost, what kind of signalization is going to go for the beginning of the next school year, obviously. So that's why we're kind of pressing on it. When we met with Dr. Enos last week, he was kind of, didn't know where it was in the dark. So it's because mainly Centurion Americans taking care of it and paying for most of it, so they've been running it. Other than that, as you can see, we've had a lot of development going on. And then I don't even need to bring up the rest of what happened this basically about it. So.
Yeah, we beat that deadline.
So,
That was exciting.
So it's just
That was-
grandpas though, just so y'all know, this is off topic, but we have 2 that are about to be grandpas. So Cameron, any day now, right?
This month.
Okay, this month, he's gonna be grandpa for the first time, and then Eric,
mine's the last of October.
yeah, October.
You know, Scorpio in my family.
Y'all start calling them gramps, something. Okay, let's move on to, Danny, our city administrator. Do you have a report for us?
Yeah, I've got a short one, Mayor. Couple of things. We're diving headlong into the budget process at this time. I've worked with Deidre to establish a calendar for our team and for the council as well. We're getting all that finalized. But the team understands that we have to have their budgets into us by April the 15th, and we will go over, start looking at the numbers at that time. I'll meet with each of the team member department heads May 4th, 5th, and 6th. We'll go through those. I'll get a better feel for that. And then after that, we'll look at some things. And then our time together with the council will be Saturday, May the 16th is our tentative date. So just FYI on that. We'll have some things for you guys at that time. And then we'll evolve from there. But that's kind of the game plan for now, to get the ball rolling and to get some things in place. Make sure we're sticking to the game plan of the calendar, get it in place. We don't have an issue with time frame from that standpoint. So that's going on. Let's see, next week I'll be in Austin a couple days for the Texas Metropolitan Leadership Initiative, where we'll hear some speakers networking with various groups and cities and so forth. Looks like from the agenda and everything, a lot of it talks about growth, job growth, economic development. Imagine that. Even some things about AI and so forth in there. So some things that, one, from my standpoint, I need to understand and see, which, got a good feel of things, I think, what's about to happen. But I also want to network with some of these other people, see what works, what doesn't work, and then hopefully be able to better serve the town here in Gunner. The other item I have is for you guys to mark your calendar, Thursday, April the 23rd. I don't think we've got a board meeting on that. It is a opportunity for us to meet with Rick Ramirez, TML Director of State and Federal Relations, over in Sherman at the Sherman Taylor Community Room. This is for us to network with other officials as well. So that starts at 6 and the program will be at 7. And what he's going to be doing is telling us basically what is some legislation that's going to come down and affect this area and the state in general. So it'll be a good opportunity. I've got it on my calendar to try to attend, and just nothing else, in a year or two to see what we can get for guys. That's pretty much it for now.
I think you have small towns in May too, right?
I do, yeah, we do have that.
And
It's
Allen.
Yes,
And we've got to fill one more seat.
Yeah.
We were thinking about maybe having an MDD person go as well.
yes.
Small towns is really good because it's catered to us.
Small town,
not the
that's,
bigger
the
Chartered cities.
May the 20th,
Yes.
22nd, so, yes.
You do. Okay, so Mayor Alderman report. I don't have anything, do you guys?
I have a question. Do we have any update on the job listing for city manager or city administrator spot?
Do not. Cameron and I discussed that a little bit. Do you want to speak to that? We had decided we were gonna wait just a little bit for the election because we don't know really what we're asking yet. So it didn't seem as urgent when we talked about it, so that's what we were waiting on, was the election to see what happened.
Okay, I thought it was in the approval that with approving him, we would then still post it, so that we weren't
Yes.
down to the limit of
There
60
was just no
days.
timeline, so if y'all are
Okay,
wanting to do it quicker, then
so I should have specified we needed a timeline on that one then. Okay.
we can talk about that. Be back on the agenda. Deidre, we put that on the next agenda. We'll talk about that. Anything else? Anyone? Okay. All right, let's move on to our public hearing for the public comments to hear testimony on the advisability of the creation of the Bridges Phase 1B Public Improvement District within the city limits. This is for the new section that's actually starting to take off right now. Eric, do you want to maybe mention something, or does Sean want to speak to this before we open the hearing?
I don't have anything.
Do you guys have any questions prior? If not, then I'll go ahead and open up the hearing. All right, so I'm going to open up the hearing at 6:37. Is there anyone who wants to speak to this hearing on the creation of the pit in the Phase 1B of the bridges? Okay, seeing none, we will close it at 6:37. We'll move on to number 7, discuss, consider, and act upon a resolution authorizing the creating of the Bridges Phase 1 Public Improvement District.
I'll make a motion to discuss.
Okay. Scott, the first. to
Second.
discuss.
We will discuss my thought when we talked about, the thought that they were going to come back with a PID, as to why the PID was going to be necessary, because they had the PID originally, in the one A, I guess, which is up front.
Oh, the 2A.
Oh, 2A.
Yes, we have one pit up there.
2A was up front, but inadvertently, there was never a PID talked about for the remaining phases. Therefore, by not creating a PID in those extra spaces, 2A and 2B in the back, I guess, then we potentially were putting the property owners in that section at a disadvantage. So that's why we came about what we did. So.
And it's a funding mechanism that does not affect the city at all. A PID is an assessment on the home, and obviously it has to be responsible, or the developer and the builders can't sell the homes. A lot of finance calculations go into it to keep it at an LTV ratio that makes sense. PIDs have never in the state of Texas had a foreclosure from them. They're pretty safe, they're calculated pretty financially stable. I do agree that possibly not providing the PID for the additional phases will disadvantage the 2A because they're gonna be the smallest lots with an assessment. They're not gonna be very competitive with the other ones, and all the Phase 1B and 2B in the back are gonna be quite a bit larger lots, so. Financing, the developer's gonna get their financing regardless, but it may cost those homeowners even more without the PID, because the PID does lower the initial price, because some of that's spread out over 30 years, so. You guys, whether or not we don't administrate it, P3 does that, so that's good, we don't have to do all of those calculations, and the PID itself pays for all that, so there's really no skin in the game for the city.
I'll make a motion that we approve a resolution authorizing the creation of the public improvement district for 1B of the district.
Okay, so I have Jerry with the first to approve. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I didn't hear William. Okay, you're abstaining? Okay, so 3-1, that passes, 1 abstinence. Okay, number 8, discuss, consider, and act upon emergency procedures associated with the road repair process on Autry Boulevard. So, Adam, are you gonna give us an update on
Sure.
this? You explained it, we went out,
Yes.
got our bids.
Yeah, so, brought this to council last time, we sort of moved it under emergency procedures. Obviously, you know, there's a sinkhole form, we went out there, put in measures to reduce down traffic over the compromised area. I've tagged all the doors, in that neighborhood, so we received comments, so I have communications going back and forth with the residents. Worked on bid with the engineers, made some revisions to it, got the final copy today. So it will be, I'll send it out this evening. We have 3 contractors I'll be sending it to. They're aggressive contractors. They are located in this area. And that's a plus for us because usually talking about was the low bid there. And so I do think there'll be aggressive bidding. The OPCC estimate, depending on probable construction cost, is $92,000. With engineering, it's a solid $100,000 project. So obviously the contractors will have basically about 10 days to come back. The goal with the bid more than anything else is just to make sure it's all apples to apples, numbers wise. When we peel back the concrete, depending on what we could find, there could be some small changes, but we'll see what the contractor comes back with the numbers, and we'll move from there. That's the most we have, but I mean, I expect them to get it back. It'll be a 10-day turnaround. We didn't have time to do like RFP process, stuff like that would take a month and a half or more. So that's where it sits today, and I'm keeping the residents informed in the community. So.
And unfortunately, this is something we discovered, it's an emergency, and it's not budgeted.
Yeah.
So that means Adam's gonna have to
I'm
do some
gonna-
other projects.
I'm gonna look at some other projects and bring council back where we sit from my budget. Yeah, for this fiscal year, things not gonna get done, things we've shuffled around, and then council can make some decisions on that. The other complicating factor is they are a community that has only one ingress and egress route. So that actually makes it a little more expensive when you do the construction. I can't just lift up get the culverts out. It has to be done half of the time to leave one lane of travel in and out of the community. So it is a complicating factor. And I'll stand up here for the next one. Unless there's any questions.
Y'all have questions on that, everyone?
Do we have to do anything for that, or do we have to offer this?
Yeah, this is.
Move forward, or?
Let's discuss, get here.
Yeah, because at the time we posted this,
Yeah.
I didn't know where we'd be today. We moved very fast on this. But,
Motion to approve.
Okay, so we've got
I'll
William
second.
for the first, Pat for the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. Thank you, Adam. And then yes, number 9, discuss, consider, act upon allowing the Gunner Youth Association in conjunction with the city to demolish the existing structure in the park known as the Field House.
yes, so the field house, which evidently has some history there, but it is fallen into disrepair. I don't know if anybody from the GY made it or not. I told them they didn't have to, I'd represent them. They made the request, but I thought for a while it needed to be removed. Even if I face the ire of a fellow staff mate over it. They will use that site. They're going to do, there may be staff coordination there, but they do have the equipment, the heavy duty equipment to do the demolition. What I'm looking at is maybe asking the Alfords, since we have a roll-off container by contractually, is maybe we'll see if the Alfords are okay with us hauling it over there just specifically to take the debris, reduce the cost, efficient for them. And but they'll do what I'd call the yeoman's work, getting most of it torn down. And they're not going to destroy the pad. They may have to patch over a couple little spots, like where you're talking about, Alan, with any piping. And they're wanting to reuse the pad site. So,
Rebuild or?
well, there's some discussions that I'll be talking to Eric about. I mean, they want to put storage on there temporarily, or they want to use it as a batting cage. But that I know it needs to come down. It's just hazardous being there. It really is. It's been vandalized more than once already because there's really no structure in place to keep people out of it, and you can just hide there is what you can end up doing. But it's not even safe for people to hide in it. I would assume they don't hide it there. But it is. I didn't seek council's approval because it is a facility that's on there. It's a house, and yet it is not a facility that. Permission to the GYA in conjunction with the city, permission to demolish the field house.
My only question that I have for you is just to take in consideration when they're thinking of doing something else with that, is to take in consideration what we've already kind of spent.
Say any use they got, they agreed it's just temporary at this point.
Cool.
We're not promising that it's still ours.
Yeah.
And so it is going to be a temporary use no matter what it is.
Thank you.
What kind of liability would we have with them taking down the city?
Well, we're in a contract with them and they have their own insurance. I don't think it's going to take a lot to take it down. It really doesn't. So I will coordinate with them because if we have the bandwidth, then I would have city staff help them. And so we can just get it done immediately. Because what I don't want is it to go over, I'd like it all to be finished in one day. There'd be no rubble. I don't want to have to really, I'll still fence it off because the surface needs to be hazard free of the concrete, but I don't want it to sit there with a pile of rubble at all. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it is baseball season, softball season.
Yeah. I don't need that.
All over the place.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Scott Blake with first approved.
Second.
William with the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, council.
That is unanimous, thank you. Okay, so number 10, we're going to move on to council business executive session. It is 6:47. We are going into consultation with our attorney over employment contracts negotiations, consult with our attorney about pending litigation, case number CV 26160, and under economic development negotiations to discuss financial information from a particular area, basic, talking about financing, MUDs, PIDs, all the different resources. And on this one, depending on what council thinks about this opportunity, we may or may not bring in potentially 4 of the developer representatives. So we will move to executive session at 6.